Hi there. So now we're going to do a video on searches. So I'm going to cut all that. Okay, I'm gonna start over, okay? So let me just get my screen down to where I need it to be. Okay. All right. Welcome to creating searches in your MLS system for your clients. So you're going to log into FMLS. You're going to hit the dashboard. You're going to go right to Matrix. Okay. So you're going to create searches in Matrix. There's a couple of searches you can do. You can do just a saved search, or you can do an automatic email where it's sending an email to your clients. I would recommend the automatic email because the saved search only sends to you, and then you would have to push through everything. There is also a concierge mode on the automatic email. So if you are emailing, if you're like, if they have particular criteria, but you don't want to pigeonhole them in the criteria and you want to just select the homes to send them, you can put it in concierge mode, and I'll talk about that. So basics of a search, let's open that. I'm gonna bring this down. So what you're gonna have is the search in the MLS here, and you're going to hit search. And like I said, you're going to have a few options here. You're going to have lease, you're going to have regular standard homes, land lot, commercial. Most of the time, you're going to be working with people buying homes. So you're just going to do a residential. So leases, if you're working with rentals, it'll be the exact same way. You're just using lease instead of residential. So for this particular search, we're just going to use residential. We want all coming soons, okay? So active coming soon. Did the person want a single family home, a townhome, a condominium? Were they specific? Usually they are, okay? Most people don't say, well, I'll just buy anything. If you have one that would say, I'm okay with townhomes, I'm okay with regular homes, I usually split that up in two separate searches. I don't want the townhomes and the houses in the same search unless there's really not a lot. This way, because most people will start shifting towards one or the other eventually, and I can just cancel that search and shut it off if I need to. But in this particular case, we're going to do residential detached, but I'm going to show you the attached one. So in here, you can select townhouse, condominium, single family residence. Because I have that, if I get rid of the detached, all of a sudden single family goes away. So, for the purposes of this one, I'm just going to do a single family residence. I'm not going to select townhomes, but it'll work the same with townhomes. You just got to make sure you select attached. People will have criteria here. Price is the most important thing. Why show them homes they can't afford? There's no point. A lot of people are going to love what they see at 750, but if their budget's 450, then they're going to hate everything in their budget and they're not going to end up buying a house. So this is really critical. So I'm going to say my budget, and I'm not going to go 0 to 750. That's too broad, and there's going to be a whole bunch of things that my client's not going to want to see. 5,000 plus matches, as you can see here. This, if you have it checked off, that means 750,000. If I take it off, it says 0 to $750, okay? No matches. Imagine that. You can't buy a house in the Metro Atlanta area for 750 or less. So usually check this off for the most part because it's going to be in the hundreds of thousands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify my criteria to 600 and 1,000 because based on what they've told me, then that might fit in. If they need these specific things. Let's say my client needs 4 bedrooms. I don't want to limit them to 4 bedrooms. I'm going to go 4 to 10. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to get a 10-bedroom home in this price point, but at least I'm not going to miss anything either. Okay, so they're going to select bathrooms. We're going to do, let's say, 3 to 10 again. I just don't want to miss out anything that could be included for them. Maybe they had a minimum maximum square footage. I still have 1,378 listings, but what I'm going to do is most people are not looking at everything in Metro Atlanta. Maybe there's a specific school they want to put in. So I'm just going to put in the school in my school district, which is Lambert. Oh, boom, all of a sudden 5 matches. Now I'm getting very specific, okay? Now, don't use schools unless the person's like, I need this school. Try to keep it to high school. If they got elementary school age children are like, well, we want to really be at this elementary, great, but you're going to pigeonhole yourself that elementary years are going to go by fast. Middle school, same thing. Maybe they want to keep their kids in the same school. That's valid. But you got to realize, you got to tell them, they got to realize if they want to move up in that same school district, that they want to sell their home in, it's going to be a more expensive home. So you just, most people will be open to that and they'll understand that. Some people will want you to find the unicorn anyways, move sideways to a larger house. That's a different topic. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to limit the square footage because, I only got 5 matches here. So if I take out the high school, your other option is to do it by city. Be careful on this one too, because sometimes a city is, let's say for Alpharetta, it could be Cumming, it could be Sewanee, it could be Johns Creek, but it's kind of Alpharetta. So I wouldn't pigeonhole yourself into Alpharetta as well, because a lot of people, let's say you have a client that's like, well, I want new construction, I want it for 800,000, I want it in Alpharetta. That's impossible. You're just not going to find what they're looking for. Sorry, I guess I should be specific. I want a new construction home that's 5,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms plus in Alpharetta. No, it's just not going to happen. Your search will come up empty. You don't want to say no to them either, because then they're going to say, well, I'm going to find a realtor who can find me this. Okay, fine. So what you're going to say is, hey, you know what? There's some great communities that make up a part of Alpharetta, like Johns Creek, Duluth, Sewanee, and they're right there in the range that you want. I can select it under a map for the area that you're targeting. So I would take out Alpharetta and I'm going to go to the map search. And in the map search, I'm going to hone in on which areas they're looking at that may be around Alpharetta, but not quite Alpharetta. So for example, here you've got Alpharetta, but some of this is Johns Creek and some of this is coming over here. So, but it's all kind of in the same area, and that's an area they'd be considering. Some of this is even Duluth, and some of this is Sewanee. So realistically, if they're saying, well, I'll go as far as Milton, I don't want to be in Gwinnett. Well, part of Sewanee is in Forsyth County and not all of it's in Gwinnett. So you're going to just want to draw a search based on what they've told you of what they're looking for. So I'm going to do the polygon. If you do the polygon, then you can pick the shape. So based on the discussions that I've had with my client, they looked like they were mostly interested in here, even up to West Forsyth. They don't want to go past Highway 20. They definitely don't want Gwinnett, even though I'm in Gwinnett right here. They are okay with Johns Creek. They're not so happy with Duluth. So I'm just going to do that. And that does the search. Now you can move this around. So maybe I shouldn't have selected that. I should shrink it here. Okay. You can, move these boundaries if you need to make it more, kind of what they into the criteria that they're looking at. With this map, they're going to have specific ranges of how far and which way they're willing to go. So I'm going to go back to the criteria from here. It takes a minute to come back. Oh, sorry, I'm in the criteria. So that's my map. So I'm going to go back to refine. I think my computer froze. So the less you put into that criteria, okay, I'm just going to delete the shape because it seems to have frozen my computer, but normally it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to go back to criteria. There's way too many houses here. I'm just going to, so basically because I didn't pigeonhole it, it's just gonna be frozen on me now. The best thing to do here is to have as less criteria as possible, but the important criteria. So if they're saying things like, I need a fenced yard, I need, hardwood floors on the, I definitely don't want carpet in the house, have this conversation with them. Hey, those are really cheaper, easier things to be able to switch up on people, to be able to get fixed. If we find the right place, we could probably get you all the carpet removed, no problem. Okay, there, the frozen's done. So this is extra criteria. This is only fill this in if it is absolutely important to them. Okay, absolutely important. Otherwise, don't do it. So if they want 1 story because they have mobility issues, then keep it 1 story. That's okay. Look how my matches went down. I'm going to enter high schools again. So this is kind of how I like my search. That's my client base is mostly looking for specific schools. So, you know, I'm going to pigeonhole this search so that I can actually get more of what I'm looking for and that I need. So let's say Denmark. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? County. I'm just going to pick Forsyth County. I had a client recently that did not want to consider anything in Fulton County based on the taxes. They only wanted Forsyth, but they wanted to kind of be Alpharetta. So they wanted Alpharetta Forsyth. So in Forsyth County, with the criteria that I have, so this is going to include all of Cumming, basically everything in Forsyth. Those are my results. If they only want one story, that's my result. I've got 0 matches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clear that, and I'm not going to have that criteria in there because let's say it's not important to your client. So they have less criteria, more options, 178 in Forsyth County. So let's say they only want to do the Lambert School District, the South Forsyth High School. You can do that also by doing this. Denmark, it's going to add it. South Forsyth, it's going to add it. Maybe they like West Forsyth too. So let's add that. Okay. So now I've got 49 matches. So here's where you can hit results. And then you'll see that you've got these here. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to save the search. Like I said, you can do a saved search or you can do the auto email. I strongly recommend doing the auto email unless the person does not want the emails. But once again, you can do concierge. So we're going to find a contact, right? Or we're going to create one. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to show you how to create one. This is not that important, but let's say they're a buyer. First name is Jane. Last name is Doe. Without the email, it can't save. So you make sure you have Jane Doe's email. And you can put in their cell phone if you want, and then you can actually even send them text. So some of your younger, maybe millennial Gen Z clients are going to love this text option. They're going to love to see it on text, but always ask them. You don't want to spam them and then unsubscribe, and then now they can't get your texts. So let's just 8675309. Haha. There we go. So, and then we can do send text option. I'm just going to deselect that so this random phone number doesn't get that. So then we're going to hit save on that, okay? But I don't want to save Jane Doe to my computer, so I'm going to just hit cancel. I'm going to select, I have myself in here to make my life easy. Okay. So it's saying it's automatically enabled because I'm already a part in the system and stuff that you're not going to get. If it's a new client, you're not going to get that. So don't worry about that. You want to BCC yourself on all the emails, okay? And if you are doing texts, then you want to do the text message one, but you definitely want to BCC. Now the texts could come in quite often. You may want to limit that to once a day. So subject, you're going to name it something like Jane's home search. If you have a lot of Jane clients or, you know, somebody with the same names, then you want to be a little bit more specific so that you know when you're searching of who is coming in for. The great thing about these searches is I've found a lot of times homes for other clients in other clients' searches. So, you know, I have Jane search here, but in Debbie's search, the perfect house came up for Jane. So I sent it to Jane and Jane bought it. You know, sometimes they don't tell you everything. So kind of always keep all your other clients' criteria in the back of your mind when their search comes up that, hey, this one would actually fit Jane, even though it's Debbie's search, and it didn't come up in Jane's search because, you know, it didn't have enough, it didn't have the acreage that Jane was looking for that she made you put in on her search, but you sent it to her anyways, and she went for it. So that's your welcome email. You're going to go to the reoccurring email, and that's what it's going to send you. You can edit the salutation. I usually don't like dear. I say hi. So I'm going to switch it to that, hit save on that. So you can make it however you like. And then down here is where I said you can enable concierge mode. So right now I've got show and reverse prospecting. So that means if you have that checked off, you're going to have other agents have your email know that your searches so you may have a client that's looking in, you know, criteria of what their home meets. And so you might end up on some spam lists. If you don't want that, you can take it off the reverse prospecting. Okay, so I usually leave it on. I'm okay with spam email. That's what I have a work email for. If I do not want the client to see everything because they're very specific and they're telling you, I'm sick of these realtor searches, they send me all sorts of junk and blah, blah, blah. Enable the concierge mode. And then that means it comes to you first, and then you're going to decide, save and go to approvals. Right? So you're going to actually approve it. So I'm going to take concierge mode off because you don't have to do that for a lot of people. I find that, more older people would like the concierge mode. They just get too overwhelmed with all of the other, too many other emails. So you can do it where you set it to them daily, in the morning, in the afternoon, twice a day, or you can do ASAP. So that means as soon as a listing pops up, boom, it hits their email. Hit save, and that creates the new search. You can do monthly for the people who are like, I'm not thinking about anything until next year, this and that. Those people can end up buying something sooner if they see something they like sooner. Okay. So don't really use this monthly one unless it's for like somebody who maybe they want to watch their neighborhood, seeing what's going on in there. You can send them a monthly search. The CRM is also good for that too, by sending them home values. So, like I said, concierge mode only for people with very specific criteria that don't want to see all the rest of the spam. Otherwise, you can just leave it as ASAP or daily. Gauge your client again. I have a client that every time she got an email from the ASAP, she would call me because she thought that I was manually sending it to her. If you're going to have someone like that, you might want to just do the daily. If you're a morning person, do it in the morning, because then that client's going to call you and say, oh, I got your email list. If you're an evening person, you want to do it at night. Or them, maybe they like to get up early in the morning and look. So there's your automated search emails. Like I said, this will work with homes that are residential, lease, income property, commercial. You can be very specific about the general search would be residential though. That's the best one to use. All right. Well, I hope that this helped you, and happy selling.